again. So it is Friday the 27th, and I am here. You can hear the street is very loud at one of my favorite hiking spots. I am at Little Manatee River State Park, the North Hiking Trail, and I am excited to be back. I haven't been here in very, very long, but I'm also a bit nervous, and I'll tell you why in a moment. So I'm excited to be back because over the summer, the grass is so tall here, it's almost impossible to hike through. But then we had the hurricanes, and then I was driving past here one day, and there was a caution tape over at the entrance, and go online, and the trails were closed for maintenance and for bridge repair. So the reason I'm nervous is because it still says online that it's closed, but as you can see, there are plenty of vehicles here today, and there were yesterday when I drove by. But normally when I do this hike, there's a fork in the road, and I usually go right. Today I'm definitely going to go left first because that's where the bridges are, and I'd hate to get all the way around almost and then run into a situation that we can't get across. Nothing on the bulletin board, and nothing here for the hiking spree. The only thing that it does show here, this is a QR code so you can pay, but I have an annual pass. But yeah, no signs. So they must have just reopened it, and Hillsborough County hasn't had the opportunity to come out in order to put the information for the hiking spree. One thing I've already noticed is that they went through and they redid the blazes, kind of like a neon yellow. You can see the old yellow underneath. And here we have the first kind of walkway, and it's not in good condition, so they definitely have not made any repairs to this. They definitely have to do a lot of tree cutting though, where trees had fallen in the path. But yeah, this is exactly what it used to be. Really not so great boards over here down. So far not really any improvements. Up here's that fork I mentioned earlier that normally I prefer going right first, but we're going to go ahead and go left. And I know it says 6.2 mile loop. That's just the big loop. There's also the smaller loop that's only about 3 miles. We have this large tree here that was not here before. There were previously a few places that you had to duck under trees, but this is a new one. This is what that grass looks like at this time of the year, and that was one of the trees that's always been here. So you can see in the summer how this could be really problematic if they don't maintain these paths, and they really often don't. I don't know why, but it does look like they came in and cut, which was really nice. Up ahead you can really see how tall that grass is right now. And I don't know what it is about this park and these trails, but there just seems to be so many lizards and snakes. Most of them are the black snakes, so they're fine. But there's just so many lizards and snakes every time you're coming here. It's crazy. So my husband doesn't really like this trail because of that. I mean, to me, once you see a few black snakes, it's not so bad. They still spook me out a little bit, but it's not horrible. But here's another example of why this area, this trail, is almost impossible in the summer months if they don't maintain it, which again they don't. Not something you normally see. There's a couple monarch butterflies. Huh. Coming across the bridge that I was probably most concerned about, because there's no way to get, if this was down, there's no way to get around this one. And as you can see, the condition of it is pretty bad. Yeah, the only way to get around would have been to go down this pretty deep ravine and up the other side. But they definitely didn't do any bridge repairs. Look at this thing. And it shakes real bad when you're on it too. Oh man. I'm just going nice and slow. This does not feel safe. One thing I never understand is how you're on a single track trail, right? And I just had a lady come up this way towards me with her head down, like, just say hi. I don't know. I don't get it. So I said hi, and she just totally ignored me, even though I moved out of the way of her too. And then I was like, goodbye. Because that's just how I am with people. I can't stand people that don't have courtesy. And then she's like, oh, hello. I don't get it. Is that just me, or does that bother other people too? Like, I understand if you're like out and about, it's different, but like, you're on a single track trail. I don't get it. And I think this is the only other bridge. We're not even close to the halfway mark. But yeah, I think this is the only other one. So I'm really not sure what they were talking about with the bridge repairs, because I haven't seen any yet. On this path, this is pretty much your only major view of the river if you're doing the 3-mile loop, and it's not exactly picturesque. It's just kind of whatever. I know a lot of times people try to do this hike because they think, oh, I'm going to get a good view of the river, or it's going to be next to the river, but it's really not. So just keep that in mind when you come here. The main thing about this loop is just the fact that it's a single track, and it feels a little more rugged than a lot of the trails in Florida. Look at them. Got 2 there. And then we got another one right there. I just got a phone call that I took while I was out here, and it just kind of reminded me that when the real estate market was really busy and crazy, I would come out here and do a hike around 1 p.m. every day, which is actually about what time it is now. And basically I would work in the morning, come here for a midday hike, and then finish working for the rest of the day. I just really enjoyed that. I'm hoping to get back to something like that. Or, like this weekend, I have appointments on both Saturday and Sunday right now. And I'm hoping that, again, either before my appointments in the morning, but more than likely after my appointments, start making sure I'm going for hikes every day. Because I do really enjoy it. It does give me a much better attitude. I get my steps in. It's working towards my weight loss goal. And overall, it's just so much better to be out here. Oh, there's one. Finally got one of our black racers. Always scares the crap out of me every single time. We'll get closer. He'll run away. There he goes. They always scare me. They always spook me, but they run away, and so it's not a big deal. He was actually over here. And then he moved over there. I was like, oh, don't move too far. I got to take a video of you. But yeah, if you see those black snakes in Florida, like I said, they're very common, especially on this hiking trail. And I do have goosebumps right now a little bit, because even though I see them so much, they, like I said, it's still like, oh, but they do just slither away. And you saw it live. And just for good measure, another bridge that clearly had no work done to it, although it's definitely not in as bad of shape as those other ones were. And just in case people have never been here before, this is where you make the decision whether or not you want to go back and do the cross trail. That'll bring you back to the parking area, or you can continue on to do the full loop. I did not bring any water. I'm on a time crunch today, so I will be back to do the full loop for the Hillsborough County hiking spree, and we're going to head back to the start. If you're doing the shorter loop, the cross trail has blue blazes, whereas the rest of the main loop has that yellow color. So just in case you see that and you get confused, you are on the correct trail if you are on the blue trail and want to head back. This is why I like to go this way first. We're now back on the main loop because it's a lot more open. Although I will say that the southern end of this loop was more open than before because of all the hurricane damage. But it's a lot hotter, a lot sunnier on this southern side of the loop. So I do recommend at that fork in the beginning bearing right, It's going to make the experience much more enjoyable for you. As we reach the end of our hike today, I just want to really say my appreciation for the state and these counties for prioritizing getting these spaces opened back up. I know it wasn't easy, but every time I walk by a tree that's been cut by a chainsaw, I just think, wow, like, I'm just so happy that, this was a priority, and, we're only 2.5 months out from the hurricanes, and to be able to be back out here is a really great feeling. So thank you. And as we finish our walk today, I want to say thank you for joining me. In the coming weeks, I plan on doing a lot more hiking videos. And I also plan on doing maybe like a once a week summary of my workouts. Right now, my main goal with working out is just to get stronger. And I really do want to lose weight. But I also really, out of everything, enjoy trail races the most. And I would love to be able to get more into that. And that, of course, means that in most places that have trail races, there's elevation gain. It's not Florida. So my plan is to really start going to the gym more, focusing on doing the treadmill or like ellipticals and Stairmasters and stuff to get more elevation going, and to do more weight training as well. So sometime after the new year, I'll start recording, like, again, a weekly summary as well for people. Because I know some people probably want to follow me on this, or even if they don't want to follow me on my training now, in a year from now, if the channel really gets going and people want to look back and see where we came from, that way they can. So thanks so much. Parking lot's right there. Ooh, lots of people here now, which is great. And I will see you on the next hike. Bye-bye.